What is up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. In today's video, I'm gonna show you how to make the best tasting pulled pork you've ever had in your life. When people think about backyard barbecue and smoking food, they often think of briskets, which are a little more complicated, a little more nuanced. You gotta pay more attention. But when you're making pulled pork, it doesn't require near that level of detail, and it's honestly something that is almost impossible to mess up unless you leave the country and forget you had it on the smoker. So if you've been intimidated by trying to get into this whole smoking thing and you want the perfect place to start, then watch this video, do what I do, and you're gonna be eating like a king or a queen in no time. Let's go. So what I've got here is a pork shoulder, and if you look closely at the label, it has the bone in. I highly recommend, if you are going to smoke a pork shoulder, that you go for the bone in version. It's gonna hold more moisture that way, and once we're finished with this thing, that bone's gonna fall right out anyways. All right, so I got the pork butt removed from the plastic. I went in with a towel, patted it off just to dry it up a little bit, but nothing too crazy. So you might see there's some fat on the outside right here, some areas that to you might look troubling, but the best part about a pork butt is you don't have to worry about any of that. Unlike a brisket where you end up trimming and shaping, and it takes quite a bit of time, with a pork butt, we literally don't have to change a thing, so we can get straight into seasoning. Now, I've made quite a few pork butts, and I've seasoned every one of them a little differently. The thing is, you don't have to go too crazy with these. There's a lot of flavor in the meat already, but the method I'm about to show you is hands down my favorite. Now, the first thing I'm gonna do is apply a binder to this pork butt. That way, all of our seasonings stick to it. And what I'm gonna be using is some honey mustard. All I'm gonna do is spread some mustard on the outside of the butt. Once it's on there, I'm just gonna rub it in, go around the outside, make sure the entire thing is covered. And keep in mind, if for some reason you hate mustard, you do not have to do a binder at all. You can simply just season it. But the thing about barbecue is once you find like the best way that you've ever made something, you kind of get locked into that and you really don't want to change it. All right, now that we got the slather applied, we can start adding our seasonings. Now, a lot of people in true Texas style like to go just salt and pepper, but I like to do a double-pronged approach to this. So I do have a basic Texas salt and pepper rub here. And all I'm gonna do is go in and give it a nice little coating all along the outside. That's really gonna help us develop a nice crispy, crunchy, and flavorful bark. Make sure I get these sides, flip her over, and do the exact same thing. And take a look at this. This is about the thickness I want for this first coating. Now that I got it covered, we're gonna move on to the second rub I'm gonna be using, which is from the same brand, True Texas Barbecue, and it's that sweet Texas heat. So now I'm just gonna do the same thing. We're gonna go through, I'm gonna add a nice layer to the outside of this. I'm probably gonna go a little more liberal with this seasoning right here, just to make sure this has a nice coating on the outside. And at this point, we got our pork butt looking gorgeous. I went really generous with that sweet Texas heat seasoning. Got a full coat, and you can see the meat is already starting to sweat. Now, I'm not gonna go and throw this on the grill right now. I'm gonna give it at least 15-20 minutes. Let that meat sweat, let that seasoning really adhere to it. And after that, it'll be time to toss her on the smoker. Oh man, we got our pork butt looking nice and pretty. She sweated out a little bit. She's got some good color. Now all that's left to do is smoke it. And one thing I'm gonna let you guys know of going into this, if you plan on starting to smoke, it's that really when you smoke anything, it's the longest you're ever gonna spend cooking any one particular thing. It takes time, which is why every single one of my smokes I like to do overnight. That way the majority of time that it's cooking, I'm fast asleep, dreaming of God knows what. When I wake up, there's very minimal time left. So it's 11 o'clock at night. I got my smoker set to 225 degrees. I'm using a pellet grill from Z Grills. It'll hold that temperature perfectly all night. And by the time I wake up in the morning and check it, she's gonna be just about done. So let's toss her on. And what I love about a pork butt is you really can't mess it up. So normally with briskets and things like that, I'll probe them and I'll have it connected to my phone. That way I can monitor the temperature while I'm sleeping. But this thing, it's so forgiving and so easy. Literally, I'm gonna trust it in here overnight and not even worry about it. So set at 225, let's open her up. And now what I wanna do is take this end right here, the one you can feel the bone in. I wanna make sure I place that closest to the firebox because that bone's gonna insulate a lot of that meat in there. It's gonna turn out to be a better cook, but honestly, you don't gotta overthink it. You kinda just toss it on. So what I'm gonna do is sit it right here, tuck it towards the side. And one little nice touch I like to add to these cooks is to take a little bit of water, put it down in an aluminum pan, and sit this inside the smoker. That way it keeps moisture circulating the whole time. Helps keep that pork butt from drying out. And there we go. From here, I mean, the hardest parts are over. Now I get to go sleep. It's gonna do its thing for 8 hours, gonna develop a nice bark, and we wake up in the morning, she'll probably be ready to wrap. So for now, I'm gonna go get some sleep, and I will see you guys in the morning, and we'll see how she looks. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. It is the next day. It's been about 8.5 hours. Let's check on her. Moment of truth. Does she got a bark? Oh my goodness. That's what perfection looks like. Guys, this right here is why I love overnight smoking and why I love pellet grills. I literally passed out, didn't check this thing once. I didn't have to monitor temperature. You literally just set the dial on your pellet grill. It keeps that temperature right there. And this is the magic you get. I feel like I did this 10 minutes ago because I slept through the majority of the process. From here on out, it is super smooth sailing. And what we're gonna do now is actually wrap it. What that's gonna do is preserve this bark that we've built up on the outside. We layered all those seasonings on top, and now it's created like a crust, which in my opinion is the best part of barbecue. We don't want that to cook any further. It's good. And I already temped it outside, so I know it's good to wrap. But really right here, I'm looking for about an internal temperature between 160 to 170. I can see the bark and I know it's good, but as long as you use a thermometer, it'll never steer you wrong. So we stick that in. Yeah, and this is sitting right at about 169. So for me, that is perfect. Now, when it comes to wrapping, for almost every other barbecue item I do, I'll wrap it in butcher paper. But for pork butt, aluminum foil works just fine. I do like to go heavy duty, get the wider stuff. Pick this up, sit it right in the middle. Then we'll just start wrapping. Once we got the first layer wrapped, I will double layer it just to be safe. Sit that down, grab it. And there we go. That looks perfect. Now at this point, we're really on the home stretch. I would say this probably has between 2 to 3 more hours. What I've done, crank the temperature up to 275. I'm gonna sit this in here. I'm gonna go to the gym, get a training session in, and by the time I get back, she should be just about ready. What I'm looking for is a target temperature between 200 and 205 degrees. Once it reaches that, and my thermopan can fall through it like butter, it's fully rendered down, I know we're good. So we'll just open her up, sit our butt right back in, close her up, and there we have it, folks. In a few more hours, we will have the best tasting pulled pork you have ever had in your life. I cannot stress enough how much I absolutely have fallen in love with barbecuing and smoking meat. If you want an amazing smoker for a really cheap price, check out Z Grills, man. I have this one right here, which I love. It's their biggest model. Then I have that one back there. I could literally do like 3 briskets on this thing, full pulled porks on this thing, host an entire party, barbecue it all. I don't have to overthink it because the temperature gauge is consistent. It has a good cook. I don't really got to monitor it that much. It is a game changer. So these guys actually have a Black Friday sale going on. I will link it down in the description box if you want to get a heck of a deal. It's going on right now. Go to that link, click it, support these guys. I'm telling you, I love this brand and I literally use these all the time. You might notice I don't do sponsor stuff on this channel ever. Other than ANABOLIC stuff I have, I don't do it. I turn everybody down, but I am so in love with smoking and I love these smokers that I really think if you guys want to get into this, this is your best, cheapest way to hop right in, man. These are great. Check out that link. I'm going to hit the gym. I will see you guys in a little bit. All right, guys, it's been a little over 2 hours. I just got home, temp checked this thing, and she is feeling perfect. Let me show you how to know exactly when your pulled pork is ready to pull. So check it out. I got my instant read thermometer. It's gonna poke it right here, put this down in, and look at that right there, 207. That is perfect. And I want you guys to notice, watch how smooth this just slides in here. Once you get through the foil, butter just falls in. We can also check over here. Like butter, just look at how that just falls right in and out. This sitting around 208, that is perfect. And there we have it, folks. It's really that simple. Smoke it till it reaches 165 degrees, pull it, wrap it, put it back in, wait till it reaches between 200 and 210. Make sure your thermometer glides in like butter and you are gonna be in business. So the final thing we gotta do is just let this rest for about an hour. It's gonna help it reabsorb those juices and make it that much better. So I'm gonna grab a shower. I don't know if you can tell, but I am really sweaty. We'll get the stink blown off and we'll be back and see what the finished product looks like. Let's go. All right, folks, we just got it removed from the foil. And right now, just from a visual perspective, this looks perfect. We got that crispy bark on the outside. Color is perfect. And the first thing we're gonna do to make sure we got it how we want it, we're gonna remove this bone. Look at that, just falls right out. That's how you know it's tender. Literally, if you can do that, you succeeded. You end up giving that to the dog. Then as far as turning this into pulled pork, it's actually pretty easy. When you smoke it, you literally just grab it, look at that, right there. It just falls apart. That is insane. So we got it tender enough, but how does it taste? Hopefully you guys can see this. Let's do that one right there. Oh my God. Oh my God. That is the best pulled pork you will ever have in your life. And folks, it's really this simple. You just grab it, it falls apart, you go in by hand, you shred it up. Every piece of it's gonna be moist. It's just literally gonna fall right apart in your hands. And seriously, if you're not someone that's ever been a huge fan of pulled pork, once you have it this way, it's gonna become a new staple, especially when you get a bite with that bark. And there we go, guys. We now have over 8 pounds of the best tasting pulled pork you've ever had. Literally, this recipe in general only cost me like 15 bucks. This will not only feed a ton of people, but it's versatile. Toss it on sandwiches, throw it on tacos, just get a plate of this alone. It's that good. No matter how you eat it, you're gonna love it. But right now, I'm gonna show you my favorite way to do it. I'm just gonna grab a few sweet Hawaiian slider rolls. I'm gonna load each of them up with some sweet pulled pork. Then I'll just hit them with a little bit of barbecue sauce, sweet and spicy, of course. And now we feast. I'm telling you, you follow this recipe exactly how I showed you. This will be the best pulled pork you've ever had, I promise. The bark is a little sweet, a little hot. I love the way we did the rub. It's got that nice Texas flavor with the salt and the pepper. It's just literally so tender. Wow, this is what Texas barbecue is all about. Now with this recipe, if you make it exactly how I did, what you end up with, for every 4 ounces or 112 grams of this pulled pork that you eat, you have 206 calories, 14 grams of fat, 20 grams of protein, 0 grams of carbs, 0 grams of fiber. So at the end of the day, this is one of my favorite recipes, but not one that I recommend if your primary goal is losing fat and building muscle. This is a weekend recipe. This is your cheat meal, your having fun, letting loose recipe. If you want recipes that are still delicious, amazing, high in protein, but they are diet friendly and they're gonna help you eat the foods you love while still losing weight, building muscle, all of the above, do not forget, because you might be here for the first time, that I have a cookbook, the RJF Anabolic Cookbook, which is available at the first link in my description. We take foods you already love like mac and cheese, ice cream, pizza, and we make the healthy, alternative, higher protein versions that are delicious. That is how I'm eating the majority of the time, and I let myself let loose with something like this delicious pulled pork every now and again. Life is about balance, guys. So anyways, I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you want to see more smoking videos where I whip out the smoker and I make something crazy, y'all let me know. If you like them, I'll bring them back. I actually have a crazy recipe for beef ribs, like the dino ones, the huge ones. Y'all would love that. Maybe that'll be like an eating challenge video on top of a recipe video. I don't know. Comment below if you want to see that. Do not forget, we have ANABars in stock. The s'mores is still sold out, but we still have the best tasting protein bars on the market in stock. We got the cookies and cream and the fruity cereal. This is the only protein bar you will eat, even on a cheat day. I promise you that. Coated in white chocolate. There's Oreos in there. White chocolate chips. She's a banger. FinalBossFormance.com. Code RJF10, as always, saves you 10%. And yeah, I think we're gonna call the video a close here. Hope you enjoyed it. Smash that thumbs up button, comment anything down below, helps the algorithm. Subscribe if you're not subscribed. Don't forget, Z Grills is having their Black Friday sale starting right now, all the way till Black Friday. So man, this is a great hobby. It's fun. I'm telling you, you smoke something, you eat it, you're gonna love it. So that link is down below in my description box. Great products, I swear by them. Like I said, I'm out of here, guys. Thank you as always for watching. And until next time, ladies and gentlemen, I will see each and every one of you at the next video. See you guys. Bam, bam, bam. We out of here, baby. Best pulled pork you'll ever have, bud. Best pulled pork you'll ever have.